Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We will carry out a security scan of all the important events that took place around India and in the world, which has an effect on India's national security. These events affect our internal security, external security, economic security, cyber security, and so on. So let us start. The first important event was that, as far as Joe Biden is concerned, the American president, he wants to put curbs on Chinese investment, and basically he does not want the advanced microchips to go to China, and therefore he's taking the help of big G7 countries to stop technological investments going into China. This is a good news because it will ensure that China's technological forays, technological advancements, especially in the chips, in AI, in quantum computing, the speed will slow down. The next issue is that Hong Kong is a world economic center in which a lot of shell companies have come up, which supply chip and other things to Russia and, for that matter, even to China. The Western world must take notice of it because this is by a shortcut methods that semiconductor chips, which the Western world wants to stop from going to China, are being supplied via shell companies in Hong Kong. The next issue is that there was a news that China is spending a fair amount of budget on artificial intelligence and using it to improve the accuracy of its weapon. India needs to make a note of it and ensure that we do not lag behind. The next point pertains to the North Pole and the South Pole. China is increasing its activity in the polar regions, though while the activities of research and commercial investments are permitted when it helps the global community, but it does not help when it is used to advance your military muscle. And that is exactly what China is doing. India has to ensure that we carry out an alliance with the Western world so that we can keep up with the research that goes on in the polar region. The next issue is India is buying a lot of arms, especially the club missile from Russia, which will be used for surface warships, etc. And also we are buying missiles from America. So basically, what it means is we are trying to get the best technology, whether it's available with Russia or China. The next issue is an exercise COPE India 2023 took place in which the Indian Air Force and the US Air Force took part, in which a lot of important lessons were learned. The next topic pertains to the Shanghai Cooperation Defense Ministers meet, which took place in India yesterday. While the SCO meeting focused on, let's say, mutual understanding, respect for opinions of each other, and that kind of activities. But as far as Indo-China dialogue was concerned, it was a complete failure. China again played its old record that we should not talk about border resolution and we should only increase trade, while India very clearly told China that without normalizing relations is not going to be easy till the time the border issue is resolved. So basically, the deadlock on the border on the LAC continues. The next issue pertains to news had come up that 10 soldiers and one driver was killed when an IED blast took place in the Dantewada area of Chhattisgarh. A lot of government agencies have been claiming that the Naxals are on the back foot, their area of influence is reducing, they have lesser people for recruitment. But the fact still remains that Naxals have a fair amount of strength as far as arms is concerned. They are still not short of recruits and all. So therefore, their method, their capability to fight is intact. So most important point is there are more than lack central armed police forces which are there. India, the central armed police forces, the BSF, the CISF, the ITBP, and SSB must ensure that they should carry out an offensive action from all directions together and enter the Dandakaranya liberated zone as it is called by the Naxals, and their training camp and the administrative camps are destroyed there. Without that, Naxalism cannot be stopped. The next issue is a murder convict called Mr. Anand Kumar was released by the Bihar government because he is a powerful man and his coming out of jail will help the JDU as far as Lok Sabha elections are concerned. It's a very dangerous thing and shouldn't have been done. The next issue is that the wheat procurement this year has been very good, and a large amount of grains, 12 to 16 million tons of grains have already been collected. Now, while it's a good news for food security, but the fact remains that a lot of these grains get go waste because of improper storage. So India as a country has to ensure that the grains are stored properly so that losses are reduced. The next issue is of theatre commands. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has given a direction to the Chief of Defence Staff that they must follow a bottoms-up approach and integrate logistics, support system, transport, and communication before moving on to the actual integration of the forces. The progress on theatre commands has been very slow because the services, especially the Navy and Air Force, are dragging their feet on it. The next issue pertains to cyber security. Indian Army has decided to establish dedicated cyber operations units across all the commands that it has. As far as China is concerned, its activities with regard to cyber operations are only increasing. So are the activities of others, Pakistan and other criminal elements. We have to ensure that cyber security is strong. So the command cyber operations and support wings will be operationalized to safeguard Indian Army's network in the face of development of Chinese cyber weapons. This was a state which was already due, and China uses their cyber capability in carrying out grey zone warfare. These structures are definitely required, and not only that, the other niche technologies, tactics, techniques, and procedures, also called as the TTP, has to be uh, brought up to the mark because things like drones, etc., are very important, and Indian Army is moving in a big way to get drones for infantry, artillery, and special forces. The next issue pertains to the Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force has innovative idea in which it says since there's a shortage of fighter aircraft as far as Indian Air Force is concerned, and it will take a fair amount of time to get the required number. Till then, to ensure operational capabilities, the IF wants to get more refueling aircraft, which will increase the range of the aircraft by which they can be deployed in any part of the combat zone. So aerial refueling is a very efficient system, and it can this system has to be brought in a big way so that the capability to deploy IF Indian Air Force assets in any part gets increases, and the shortage of fighter aircraft can be reduced to some extent. The next issue is our economic relations with Russia are improving. Today, Russia is the biggest supplier of crude oil to India, but also at the same time, our economic relations with USA and the European Union have also reached an all-time high. The next issue pertains to the security of non-resident Indians who were in Sudan. Operation Kaveri has been launched by the Indian government. The transport aircrafts are waiting there. Already a lot of Indians have been evacuated with the help of other countries, and Indian naval ship is waiting there. The transport aircraft are waiting there, and already more than 4,000 Indian citizens have already been evacuated. and anybody remaining the defense attaché there of the Indian Army played a very important role as far as coordination was concerned, and things are moving in a positive direction. But what is important is what we have to understand is that there are more than 14 million non-resident Indians and more than 7 to 8 million tourists and travelers who go out of India everywhere to various parts of the country. So there is practically no conflict today that does not affect an Indian citizen. And given the fact that there are many dangerous environments, for example, we had the students in Ukraine, we had the nurses in Iraq, the nurses in Yemen, the laborers in Libya, Syria, Lebanon. The responsibility of government to get them back should the situation become very difficult increases drastically. So therefore, it would be important to to have earmark a special force which will deal with such crises in the future because Indians keep on going abroad. The next point is about quantum revolution with the help of government of India. The potential of quantum computing is known. Indian government has started a fund of about 6,000 crores for national quantum mission for the year 2020-2024 up to 2030-31 for research and development. This is experimental stages of experimentation, prototypes globally. So it's important that we invest in this niche technology in a big way so that we do not fall behind because the capability of this niche technology is tremendous. In our country, our motto is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and therefore India has tried to showcase to the global visitors the vastness of the country, the cultural richness, the development of this country, and spread the awareness of the people who are attending it. So therefore, India has made a big presence as far as international relations is concerned, and the distinct feature has been the rise of India as a major power in the world with a considerable influence on the issues of global peace and development. And now the bilateral relations have been extended to multilateral format, which guarantees mutually beneficial outcomes of both security and economic advancement. So G20 meetings held in Arunachal Pradesh and Kashmir was a very clear message to China and Pakistan that this is an integral part of the country. The presidency of G20 commit G20 nations, the dynamic international conference has been planned and conducted all over, has given India an unprecedented potential as far as world power is concerned. It is the fastest growing economy. It's a big tourist destination. Its reputation as an attractive market is well known. Its democratic institutions work very, very well. So therefore, India's standing as far as the international relations are concerned is only increasing. And what is most important is today India has become a voice for global south countries, that is the poor countries, the underdeveloped countries. This ensures that our comprehensive national power has reached an all-time high. I'll stop here. Thank you and Jai Hind.